What's up, guys? My name is Adriel Rivera, and I make music in my shed. Today, we are in my shed with somebody else who makes music in my shed. 100 million times Grammy winner, Pres. Everybody welcome our co-host, Pres.
Woo! 100 Grammys? I barely have $100. What are you talking about? What are you talking about right now?
So today we're gonna be going over the lyrics. Last episode we went over the production of my song that came out January 25th, 2024. One Like You, parentheses, I Say Ooh. Today we're gonna be talking about the lyrics and breaking down the cover art of the song. And since it is the month of love, and in a few days here it'll be Valentine's Day, we decided to go all out with the red. So if you have somebody you love, share this episode with them so that they know that you love them. Hey, man, I'll share this episode with you once it comes out.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
You're welcome. Any plans for Valentine's Day?
Well, I mean, so like two things here. Two things here. I don't mean to like self-promo, but like I'm dropping a sad song. So I'm dropping like a sad boy song for Valentine's Day because I like that.
All right.
But I was actually just thinking about it. Like I'm trying to find a date to watch Madam Web because it comes out on that day.
What? What is Madam Web? It's Spider-Man, no? Well, it's like Spider-Man oriented, right? It's like a Spider-Man type of thing.
Loosely, yeah. It's a Spider-Man type of thing.
Like, Madam Web is like part of like the Spider-Verse thing, right?
But what is that? Because nobody knows what that is anymore because everything's all jumbled together and nothing makes sense.
I guess. But what is... So
but
what
it's
is...
Sony, yes.
So Sony keeps coming out with Madam Web.
Sony.
Is it live action or animated?
It's live action.
What? I feel like I haven't heard anything about this.
I mean, it's Sony.
I guess that makes sense.
I forget. Like, I think her name's like Dakota Johnson or something is like the lead, and then Sydney Sweeney's in it.
Really? Is she Madam Web?
No, she is Spider-Woman?
What?
No. I forget what the Spider-Woman?
That's crazy.
I think.
So she's Gwen Stacy? Is that like what I'm hearing right now?
No.
What? Okay. Anyway.
This shit's confusing. Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. It is confusing, but
yeah.
I didn't even know that was coming out. So I'll go with you.
Well, see, I was kind of looking for like a woman.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. All right. Damn. Okay. I guess I'll go by myself. No, I'm kidding. It's funny too, because I mean, like for when this episode comes out, yeah, it's like it's gonna be Valentine's Day. We're recording this. Oh shoot! I spit. I didn't mean to spit. We're recording this like way ahead of schedule, so it's not even remotely close to Valentine's Day for us. So yeah, no, I was really like, you know, goofing around when I said, "What are your plans?" Because obviously we don't even know. I don't even know what my plans are. It's a month away. Yeah. So, but hope you guys have plans, and if not, make some for yourself. Because it's the month of love. Self-love is also love.
It's true. So,
before we get into the lyric breakdown of the song, let's give you guys a little refresher on how this song sounds like before we actually do that. So, let me pull it up really quick. Just give me a second.
Really quick, he said.
I'm looking for it. I have too many files.
I've been the one to chase love that falls through. Hyper, broke something too. All in all, it seems I always lose. And now I never know if what I feel is true. It's such an obstacle that I'm still working through. But you just got this glow that I cannot refuse. So what you say, assume that I say. just the way I feel inside. And I get so damn tired of running these circles with no finish line. And though I tend to hold to fears I can't deduce, I wanna let them go. Maybe you'll cut them loose, cause you just got this glow. My God, it's so confused. So what you say is soon that I'll say,
This is a great song. I actually I wanted to point out something. Not point out, but mention something. I wanted to mention something. So this song, like I made months ago, or like finished making like a few months ago, right? So like this was scheduled ahead of time, like way ahead of time. But I was kind of conscious of like when songs would come out. And since this is like one of the first love songs that I made in like a long time, it's been a minute since I've made like love songs, right? I was like, this would be perfect for January because following, like coming up would be Valentine's Day, and so this is like, you could play this for Valentine's Day. And now like, when I say love songs, I kind of like this is like I would say like loosely like this is a love song, but like with like some sadness in there. This is like sad, but like it's happy sad boy hours. I don't know. It makes if you're listening to the lyrics, it's like very optimistic. No, it's more. No, it's very pessimistic with an optimistic like overtone. If that makes sense.
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. It's like you seen those memes where it's like the dude sitting on the bus, or no,
no,
is it that?
Yeah, it's like there's two dudes like on the bus.
Yes,
and like one's looking out the window where it's like really bright, and the other's just like a brick wall, not brick wall, but like the mountain. It's all dark.
Yeah. No, it feels like that. It's like it feels very happy, but then if you like really read the lyrics, you're like,
he kind of sad.
Damn.
He's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, but there is like a hopefulness to it though, with like, you know, haven't been one like you in a while. So
right.
like, so I would overall say it's a happy love song, but like the happy love song part of it is only like a small chunk of the rest of the song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get it's the chorus, so I guess like the chorus takes up a lot of the song, but
right.
lyrics wise, the chorus isn't a lot, you know, percentage wise for the lyrics.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
Right.
I see what you're saying.
So speaking of lyrics,
let's get in. Let's dive into the lyrics, shall we?
For sure. Of one like you, I say ooh.
All right.
What you got for me?
So, this is probably the big question that everybody's been asking.
Yeah.
So, when you say I say ooh,
right? Yeah. No, everybody's asking that.
What do you mean by that?
So, so you know, like when you say ooh,
yeah,
and it feels good.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, depending on the context.
Ooh.
Ooh. But you know, sometimes you just gotta say ooh.
It's
you
true.
know, I say ooh, you say ooh. I think everybody said ooh at least once in their life.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
So I feel like making a song about it.
It applies to everyone.
It applies to everybody. Yeah, it's a universal song. Everybody can relate to it. That's why I did it. Actually, this song is going to be my most streamed song with like 200 billion streams.
I mean, I can see it happening.
Universal concept. But I mean, if you want me to be more serious about the answer, like it's just a feel good. It's just a feel good lyric.
Yeah,
like,
I think we know.
Yeah, so you know, and I wanted this to be a feel good song because you know when you meet somebody new, it feels good, and if they are, like, you know, beating expectations, I guess, of like what you're expecting, it's even better. And so, you know, I say ooh, it's like you know, sometimes it just feels good. You know, the song feels good, you feel good, so you say ooh.
Yep. Sometimes it's not even really words. It's just Ooh.
Yeah, right. You know, we came from cavemen, and they're all going like, ooh, ooh, ooh. You know, so
That's
like
facts.
So it comes from somewhere. Like
Wow.
it's our natural instinct.
It makes sense, man. I get it now.
It's confirmed. It's confirmed.
Historians.
They've confirmed this information. I've talked to them. I know them.
Everybody says ooh.
On God.
Therefore, everybody likes a song. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
All right. So, I have a serious one this time.
Okay.
So you say, well, should I like do it like you do it, or should I just like read it? I think I'm just gonna like read it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
You do you, and I say ooh.
Wow. I've been the one to chase love that falls through. So on that, I say, I feel like this as well.
Yeah.
And like does everybody feel like that? And like, but it also makes sense that everybody feels like that, right? Like numbers wise, like people go in a lot of relationships. Not all of them are like the relationship of their lives.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
But like, you think everybody feels that way?
I think so. I think majority of people have gone through something where like, you know, either they wanted something that wasn't reciprocated, or like, well, yeah, they wanted something that wasn't reciprocated, right? They were heartbroken, you know. And I think it's very human nature to there's so many thoughts going on right now. So I heard somewhere that like, because you know how when it comes to like dating advice and stuff, like where like there's people can give really good dating advice, but then not following themselves.
Yeah.
You know, like when you're in the situation, it's hard to view it objectively because you're in the process with all the emotions and everything like that.
Right.
I think a good chunk of people have been in situations where they've chased things that pretty obviously weren't meant for them.
Yeah.
You know, but and like objectively looking back, you can think like you can say like, yeah, like that wasn't for me, you know.
Yeah.
But like in the moment, it's kind of hard to accept that and like, you know, come to terms with it. And so I feel like a lot of people have definitely probably gone through that and feel the same way.
Yeah. I wonder if there's like there's got to be people out there that like they genuinely are still fond of all of their exes. Like it wasn't like they disliked the person or something went bad, like, you know, something just happened and it is what it is.
Right.
But like I feel like most people, you know, look back thinking about their relationships more like that. Like, yeah, like, dang, I did it again. Like, did something like it didn't work out how I wanted it to.
Right.
But I feel like there's got to be people out there that are just like, yeah, my relationships ran their course, but like it, you know, it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
But
I would be, I mean, in my 22, almost 23 years of life, I like, you know, from just like viewing, I would argue that like the people that feel that way, where it's like, oh, it ran its course, it wasn't anything crazy, were the ones that broke it off in the first place. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the pattern that I see. I could be wrong.
Interesting.
But like,
interesting. Yeah.
Would you agree or no?
I mean, well, I don't know, because I don't like talk to many people about like stuff like this in this type of a way.
Yeah.
But no, that makes sense. But like I also think that I'd like to think that you can acknowledge when something just like mutually just isn't working out. Yeah. And be okay with that, and like not that it's not gonna hurt or whatever for the time being, but like no, looking back, like, yeah, like you were saying, like looking back, know that that just wasn't it.
For sure. Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah. I definitely think that there are people that can mutually break things off. Yeah. You know, if they both can understand that this wasn't, you know, working or meant for them. I'm pretty sure I've yet to meet that though. Yeah. Meet that situation.
That's what I'm saying. But like, that's gotta happen.
That's gotta happen, right? It probably happens. Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of breaking, this guy right here says, heart broke some too. So, how does that feel, and how does it affect the way that you approach dating? Just like the whole, because like, you know, getting your heart broke sucks, breaking people's hearts also sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
And like do you? Yeah, I guess. No, I guess there's no like question attached to it.
It's just like, what do you think of that?
Yeah, it's just what do you think of that?
I mean, yeah, no, I agree. It's like breaking hearts sucks, and then also being heartbroken sucks. Which is, I don't know. I was gonna say which is worse, but they both are pretty bad, especially depending on like how serious or long the relationship is or how deep of connection it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it comes to like approaching like dating and then in that aspect, like obviously, you know, like I'm sure like there's a lot of hesitance, and I think a lot of people like that are like have, you know, experienced dating and stuff like that, like they can probably relate to that, where it's like, you know, it's not like that idea is like we always know that there's that risk of like heartbreak, like on both sides. But I think like I'm very optimistic in how like I approach dating, and I think like a new connection is a great thing, and if it doesn't work out, then it just wasn't meant to be, because I'm a big believer in like if it's meant to work out, it's going to.
Yeah.
And so if something doesn't work out, then that's just not what it was supposed to be, you know. And so even though you'll go through like, you know, you can go through heartbreak and go through like those emotions, I think it's worth the experience. It's worth what you learned, and it's worth the potential to find somebody that actually fulfills what it is that you are looking for and what they're looking for.
No, I feel that. I yeah, that makes sense, because that's why we're all doing it, because most people have had their heart broke and also have had to break somebody's heart. Like a lot of people, I mean, a lot of people have those experiences.
Exactly.
But hey, we're all still dating.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But for some reason, we keep coming back. keep looking for the next hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Waiting for that person that makes you say, ooh, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. So, but for sure. Right.
Okay. And the next one I have is, and now I never know if what I feel is true. And I just put in all caps, explain.
Yeah, explain. Okay. So when it comes to writing lyrics, because we've had this conversation off the podcast, like a while back, but like you had mentioned when writing songs that like most of what you say is true, but it could be very exaggerated.
Yeah.
I feel like that is one of the things where I feel like it's true, but like the way it's said is exaggerated, right? So like I trust myself. I trust my emotions. I feel like I can intuit like what is good for me, you know, and like I can kind of like scope out what isn't. But going back to like what we were talking about before, where it's like when you're in the situation, you don't really know like you can't see until looking back how wrong you were, I guess. You know?
Yeah.
Like because of just experiences of that, like I don't know. I'm not gonna know what I feel is true until I can look back at it objectively and know, you know. And
that's fair. That makes sense.
Yeah. So that is a true statement, but I guess lyrically maybe slightly over exaggerated.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, that's like the way that I think about it, though.
Yeah, like that. It doesn't pertain to like a specific scenario or something that pops up in your head, like, oh yeah, it was that. But you're just saying like
overall,
just in general,
overall.
Yeah, I mean, and then you can't know until you look back, because like you said, you're always, when you're in that emotional state, like it's always clouding everything.
Exactly.
So like, you know, you can say no, this time, like I know that this is right, everything's good.
Yeah.
But and then like looking back, you'd be like, how did I why did I think that this was good?
Yeah,
like,
right, exactly.
Clearly wasn't.
Yeah. That reminds me of a lyric from Logic. Quoting Logic. I haven't listened to that guy in so long.
Logic.
But Logic has a lyric where it's can't see the picture when inside the frame. You know, I forget what song that is, but can't see the picture when inside the frame.
Yeah.
And that lyric always stood out to me, because like that's how I felt about a lot of situations where it's like it's always worse when you're in it, but you always survive, you know.
Yeah.
It's like you don't like it's not over until you die. You know, kind of thing.
That's
It's
true.
like you're gonna live. Like when you go through this stuff, and when you're finally out of that situation, out of the frame, looking back at it, it's like it wasn't as significant. And I mean, like you know, there are some things that are very like significant, but you know, in terms of like things like this, I guess we're saying where
Yeah.
they could be kind of silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's also important, like just acknowledging that you are in that this emotionally like tied up state, and just knowing that can even help you approach it better.
For sure.
Because sometimes like people just like basically when I'm in like that super emotional state, like I know that, and so I start to question everything that I'm saying, and I'm like, all right, is that yes, is that no, like is that really how it is it not?
Yeah.
And I think just being aware that you're there is big.
Yeah.
Because some people just think, nah, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not tweaking.
Right.
Dog, you're tweaking.
Yeah.
But it's okay
Yeah.
because we all tweak when we're in that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah. All right. So right here, I got, and though I tend to hold to fears I can't deduce, I want to let them go. Maybe you'll cut them loose. And so I say, are the fears you're referring to actually solvable or relievable by another person?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a good question. So definitely when it comes to like relationships and stuff like that, there's a lot of work to be done within a relationship and a lot of work to be done on your own. You can't rely on your partner to solve your problems. And so if you do have problems with like trust, commitment, things like that, that's things you have to work on yourself. But things like communication and being able to communicate your feelings and those problems is what you work on with that other person, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so, although I say like maybe you'll cut them loose, it does sound like maybe they'll be the solution to solving those fears. I think of it more of like maybe I can trust again, you know, kind of thing. It not necessarily it's like them being the like how do I explain this? They're like the catalyst to be able to solve the problems within yourself.
I see what you're saying. Like
Yeah.
they're not gonna solve the problems, but like maybe like just their inclusion in your life puts you in a place to where you're able to solve these problems. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
right. Yep.
No, I see what you're saying.
And again, this is another one of those exaggerated lyrics. I'm definitely not a very withheld person. I think I'm pretty good at trusting people. But obviously like when it comes to being like, cause you know, having gone through the experience of heartbreak, it's like a terrible feeling, you know, with like the lowest point of my life, you know? And so like, obviously there's that fear of like having to go through all of that again. But I definitely don't think that like I've always been optimistic though after that, where it's like I know that I'm gonna find my person. You know? Yeah. And so like again, this is like I feel like a more exaggerated lyric where there is truth to it, but it's a little bit, you know, it's a little bit, you know, like depending on how you take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey man, you're an artist. Like that's what artists do sometimes. Like sometimes you have to like whatever feels right for the song or for the emotion you're trying to convey, even if it doesn't like pertain to the exact thing that's in your head. Like sometimes it feels right in the song. You know what I mean? In context of creating a song.
For sure. Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
That's the end of the lyrics. So what about that beautiful cover art you got going on for that?
All right. So the cover art. Well, first of all, we'll go over to how like just like the cover art looks like in general,
Sheesh.
right? So this is the final cover art that is on everything, right? And for those of you that don't know, I make all of my cover arts from scratch. Yeah, I draw it. So I've always liked drawing growing up. I don't draw as much as a hobby anymore. I kind of stopped drawing as a hobby like years ago, right? But because I loved the art of like John Bellion's like The Human Condition, and like even like Logic had like Under Pressure, like his, the deluxe version had a cool like artwork. And he has a lot of cool artwork for a lot of his projects.
Yeah.
These were people I listened to like back when I was like starting my music career. I don't listen to them anymore. But they were like big inspirations back then, and so that's the reason why I really liked the drawings of cover art, or like cover arts that were drawn. And so I've tried before making like painted cover arts and things like that, and trying to make it look like their style, but it just never worked out. Like I never could make it as good as what their artists that were able to do it have done. But then like because I was copying their style, I just got the idea like why don't I just do what I used to do when I was younger and like do what I know best, how to draw what I know how to draw best, which is like more cartoon versions of like myself, which by the way, for a little bit more lore about me, I used to have like comics, I guess, like that I would make of like me as a superhero when I was like really little, like I would call him Awesome Age, right?
Wow.
Like I was a superhero called Awesome Age, and like I've always wanted to bring that concept back one day, like in something. I just don't know what it would be. But when I would draw myself, I developed like this like art style eventually to something that's similar to what I do now. And that's how I got the initial idea to do my cover arts this way. And so I drew myself here, and this is like the template that I've kind of been going with ever since, what is it now? 2022, right? January 2022 is when I started doing this kind of art where it's more line art, like cartoony, rather than more painted brush kind of thing that I used to do before. And like there's like this tattered surrounding on the cover arts.
Yeah.
And this is the template that I've just been using from then on with like the text and all that. So
yeah, I remember when we actually talked about that, because you were saying you wanted something cohesive to be able to stick behind all of them so that all your cover arts look like similar. And so I remember you when you talked about the whole background and everything and how you kind of wanted it to look. And now with the lines and stuff, like I'm like, now that you pointed it out, I do recognize how these covers are different from the singles that you started doing but didn't have these covers.
Exactly.
Like so close.
Right, yeah.
Like that cover is not the same vibe, right? Like
It's
that's
not.
what you're saying?
Yeah, like it was like a more painted look to it.
Yeah.
But it's still the kind of idea where it's a white background with just like a singular character in like the text. But it was very like it was just a white background. There was no texture to it.
Yeah.
I wanted to make it feel more retro because a lot of the music that I make is very like indie bedroom pop kind of feeling, and I like that style. And so I feel like that would reflect my brand a little bit. It's going a more retro kind of look.
Yeah.
And so instead of doing the whole painting thing, like a lot of retro art will have like graphics that are like crisp lines and like drawn like that. So this is the cover art, but again this is like the template that is like across the board, right?
Yeah.
So like what we're going to be going over is the drawing itself, not the text and like the background and stuff like that, just the drawing. So I'm going to pull up Photoshop right here and you can see, ooh, look
Crispy.
at that. That's the drawing. And you actually might be able to notice that the coloring is different from the drawing than it is to the final. It's because the template that I use for these cover arts, I have like a curves adjustment to make it more faded and like look older.
Right. Right.
And so, but I still draw the cover arts as if they weren't going on the template so that it feels like authentic before it goes through there. If that makes sense.
That actually makes sense. I followed that.
Cool. So this is the final cover art. I'll show you all of the steps that took us there. So give me a second while I make all of these layers invisible, and you can kind of see how it's being broken down already. So let me look for this. So this is the original like sketch, right? Of like what I came up with.
Yeah.
For the posing. And a lot of times when it comes to posing, I'll like either like look at references from Google images of people doing the poses that like I'm thinking of, or I'll just take pictures of myself. And it always works out better when I take pictures of myself because like I can do the specific pose that I'm thinking of,
Right.
and it's myself. Like I'm drawing myself, so might as well use myself as a reference, right?
Right.
So this time around, though, one of the reasons why I'm really proud of this cover art is because I didn't use a picture reference for the pose. I just thought of it because I just didn't take a picture reference for this. I knew the idea that I wanted, but I couldn't find a specific reference like photo for the way that I wanted to do it, and so I just had to draw from scratch. The only reference I took was for the legs. Like the legs were pretty difficult in terms of getting the perspective right because one leg is, you know, like when you're running, one leg is further behind than the other.
Right.
So you had to make it look like one's behind the other one. And so I drew, like I looked up a reference for the legs themselves and I drew those from reference, but the rest of the body is all from just imagination, right? And so the idea initially was this, where I would be running through a ribbon and like you can see that this ribbon is broken because like when you get to a finish line you break the ribbon, like, you know, woo.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because one of the lyrics that I don't think we went over, but it's I get so damn tired of running these circles with no finish line. This cover art, because the song, like I said, is like I think of it as more of like a whole overarching optimistic song, and I wanted to show that like with this cover art we're finally crossing that finish line that I was talking about that I never get to cross through the song, you know. So that's why I went with this idea of me being like in a runner's outfit going through a ribbon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I didn't end up keeping the whole ribbon thing though. I ended up give me a second. Look at all these different sketches. I ended up going with this, right, which was like holding the ribbon. I feel like it looked more dynamic. It looked cooler. And if you're wondering what all this stuff was here, so let me actually go back here, and see if I can find what I'm trying to look for. So when I was doing the sketch originally, I wanted to have like my hand like this, and so this is actually a picture. And for the people that are just listening, what it is, it's like a picture of my hand taken at Panera because I work at Panera. I don't work at Panera, but I do my work at Panera. And so I took a picture of my hand at Panera so that I could use it as a reference image because I just couldn't get the hand right. So I'll do that sometimes too, where I'll just like take if it's like a hand thing, I can just take the picture there and I send it to my computer, and I use that as reference for like this hand, and then, you know, I kind of just completely drew this other hand. And overall, I just didn't like how the hand was looking. And so that's another reason why I just switched over to this, you know, because it was easier for me to draw this hand than it was that other hand, which the final cover art, again, for those people that are just listening, like I'm holding it more in like a fist rather than an open palm. And I put in the effort. I really tried to get it to the open palm, but I couldn't get it to what I felt was like good enough. So I just went with the fist, the closed fist. And sometimes you just gotta, you know when to throw the towel in.
Yeah.
At least I tried though, is like the thing. Like I took multiple attempts to get it right. And so, you know.
No, yeah. I feel that. I actually was just talking to my brother about that. Like sometimes good enough is actually good enough. Like it's okay. Like you can compromise and do the little small thing. It doesn't always have to be exactly what you need it to or what you want it to be or whatever.
Exactly, right. You know, and with this, it actually ended up being something that I liked better than what I originally had.
And there you go.
Exactly. Right. So this ended up being the final sketch. Let me look for I'm trying to find where the other things are, cuz okay. So the original sketch was that one. I layered, how I work is I'll have that original sketch, then I'll bring down the opacity and then do more like a final sketch, where I'll put in more of the muscular outlines, you know, like more volume to the sketch itself, and like kind of give myself an idea of where, you know, like where all the mass is, I guess, you know. One thing about this though, looking back at it, is I really wish that I had extended the calf leg part right here, because I feel like it's kind of short, like compared to like the rest of the leg. When you look at a human leg, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm not the best at anatomy, but I'm pretty sure your thigh lengthwise is as long as like your shin lengthwise.
I believe that, yeah.
And that is not the same length. You know, the shin, I don't forget the bone, the name of the bone, but that shin bone is like looks a lot shorter than the thigh bone, you know, or like that part. So I definitely wish I would have extended it a little bit more. But I mean, you know, what are you gonna do?
It's all right.
Right. I mean, like it looks great.
Did anybody say in the comments, look at his little leg?
Definitely, probably not.
Exactly.
Yeah, so like that's what I'm saying. Like it's good enough. It's good enough. So after I get the like initial sketch done, I'll come back around and then I'll get or not the initial sketch, but the more refined sketch. I'll do the final where is this at? Line art sketch, right? As in like this is now the final sketch concept.
Yeah.
You know. So you can see that now it's looking like the full idea. And let me see. So
how long does this take? Like the whole process?
The whole process?
Yeah.
It depends on how it depends on the cover arts, right? There's some that are really fast. Others can take like multiple days, like as in 2, like 1 to 2. Like it's usually like 1 full day I'll work on the artwork, and then the next day I'll just put into the template, and that's like really fast.
Yeah.
But artwork takes like, but sometimes it could take another day to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 to 2 days, working days. It's not like 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? But like the hours that I put in for my work, it'll be like 1 to 2 days. And so you can see I put in a little bit of armpit hair. Really got to get it like, you know, as close to lifelike as possible.
That's real.
And included my ring that I'm wearing. And yeah, I was planning on doing some sort of visualizer, which is why I have like my wife pleaser on, and my joggers on, and like I actually have these pair of stuff in my house. You know, like I wear this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we please wives around here. We don't wear wife beaters. We wear wife pleasers.
Big brain.
Big brain. And so this is like the final sketch. This is like the idea's down. Now we go back and we refine this. So how we do that is we do the line work. So this is not like, since that's the sketch or the final sketch, it's not the most clean lines. And in order to get the most clean lines, you have to go over that sketch and you have to do it really fast, right? As in like whenever you draw a line, you have to make sure you do it in a swift motion to get the smoothest line possible. And this is the most tedious process of cover arts, is getting those lines as smooth as possible, right? So like I spend the most time probably doing the line art, like the final line art.
Yeah. It's crucial.
It is crucial because now you have like, but like if you look at it, it's like super smooth.
It is.
You know, and so once we have like this smoothened line art, we come in with the color blocking and we like put in where the main colors are gonna go. You know, so this is no shading. This is just the colors itself, and then all the little extra details I'll throw on top of this. So let me look for them really quick. I didn't name these layers, so where are they at?
Well, now that we have this podcast in the future, you can name the layers.
Yeah.
Because you know we're going to be looking at it.
That's very true.
There we go.
So you can see that I have like the pockets that I drew here. They are colored in like with like a solid color rather than the lines that I drew in the sketch. And then also right here, like the logo. This is actually like supposed to be the Gymshark logo, right? I didn't take the time to actually make it look like the Gymshark logo. Especially because I also don't know if like you're legally allowed to do that or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
But either way, I just did it like that because, you know, you don't. There's a certain point where it's like you're diminishing returns. You know, you end up spending too much time on something.
Exactly.
And making that look like the Gymshark logo would have wasted time.
Yeah.
So But you can see that these aren't like in the original sketch. I had them actually like outlined, but in the final drawing, they're more like colors, like rather than lines. And I do that because when it's these little details right here, it's really hard to color in between lines and make that color pop. So rather than outlining everything and then putting color in it when it's really small, like details like that, it's better to just make those details that color. Does that make sense?
That does make sense, yeah.
So once we have all those details done, now it's time to do the shading. And sometimes I like to sketch out where I'm going to put the shading, but this time around with this cover art, I didn't have to do that. All I had to do was just use my brain and figure out where the light's coming from. And that's the thing about shading is that like when you're thinking about light, like or when you're thinking about shading, you have to think about where the light is, And so I'm thinking the light source is somewhere in the top left corner. So I'm going to put all the shadows in the bottom right.
Right.
And contour all of like the features, like my big strong muscles, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh, look at them.
Speaking of like muscles, ever since I started working out like 2 years ago at this point, when you work out, you get familiar with your body, lifting weights and stuff like that makes you more aware of what muscles are in your body. And weirdly enough, it's helped me with my art, with my drawing,
because you know how it's supposed to look.
I know exactly. I know the mechanics of it a little bit more. I know how it's supposed to work, so I know more how it's supposed to look. Yeah, exactly. And so I'm really proud of this because it's like I feel like it's one of the better drawings that I've done of like anatomy. I'm not I'm not a huge anatomy person. I don't study anatomy to make my cover arts better. I just draw. That's all I do. I just draw. But there are definitely people that will like go into all of that and stuff like that. I'm not one of those people, but I do think it's cool that working out has helped me be better at that.
Yeah.
So working out, I recommend you should do it. It helps in more aspects in your life than you would think.
Facts.
So on top of the shading, I added in, some sweat, because obviously if we're running, and doing a race, we're not going to be pristine. We're going to be sweaty. So put in a little bit of sweat on the wife pleaser here. And then we put in some highlights here that low-key, they kind of make my skin look like a little like rubbery. But the idea is that sweat is kind of glossy,
Yeah.
So I put that there to like represent the sweat.
Yeah.
And after that, just little details, something that I don't know if anybody has ever noticed this, but like in like majority of my cover arts, maybe I might have missed it in a few of them or not, because like it's a very last detail that I do, but I'll put like a little bit of shine on my glasses over here. And then finally, I always put a catch light on my eyeballs, because something in cinematography is catch lights. Like what a catch light is like when you're looking at somebody's eye and you see like the reflection of the light in there, like the little small white dot that's in their eyes. Like when there's light, that's a catch light. And a lot of times like that's used to represent life. It makes people look more alive. And a lot of times too, what will happen is that when there's a character that will die in a scene, like they'll have the catch light when they're alive. The moment they die, the light fades from their eyes. That's a saying, no? The light, like watching the light fade from somebody's eyes. Yeah, like I mean, quite literally, like they will take away the light so that you don't see it, to represent that they're dead. If you watch back on Avengers Endgame, where if you haven't seen it by now, I'm not spoiling anything, bro. This is like 5 years ago at this point. Like at this point, we're caught up to what the timeline of the Endgame is. That's crazy. Endgame, Tony Stark dies. Everybody knows that. And you'll see that the catch light goes away in his eyes. Same thing with Spider-Man Homecoming. Aunt May, when she dies, the catch light, goes away. And I can guarantee you, like almost any like cinematic film that you watch where somebody dies and their eyes are open when they die, you'll see the catch light fade. So catch lights represent life, make people look more lively, more more greetable,
Alive.
I guess. Alive, yeah. So, putting that in my drawings, I feel like is very important. And so
Aunt May and Tony Stark as the examples was crazy. Those are big ones, man. Those hurt.
yeah,
Those hurt. Those are painful deaths. You could have picked like some random or something, but
those are the only deaths that like stick out that I can remember from cinematography. I don't watch too many movies. I'm starting to a little bit more though. But at the end, finally, there's just like this little highlight in my hair, just to represent more light. But overall, this is the final cover art. Once it's done, I'll make the background transparent, export that, and then just put it into my template, put the text and all that. But that is the cover art.
there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
That
One like you.
One like you. I say ooh.
Dude says ooh.
So if you haven't listened to the song already, feel free to listen to it after this podcast because there's one more thing we have to do. Quote of the week.
Oh yes.
Let's go.
Yes. Quote of the week.
What quotes do you got for me today?
I gotta go first.
I went first last time, so you go first this
We're
time.
gonna switch off.
We'll switch off.
Let's see. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
This one's like kind of like big. Like you gotta really think about it.
All right.
Right.
Then maybe I should go first.
All right, go ahead. All right, so Adriel goes first. Is that the rule now? Are we just gonna do Adriel goes first?
No. I would like you to go first, but I feel like mine is not worth the last placement. You always save the best for last.
Bro, that's how I felt about last episode because I said that goofy Drake thing and I was like,
oh, okay.
man.
then you do yours.
No, do it. No,
Okay, because I also have a goofy Drake thing.
all right.
My quote of the week is Anita Maxwell.
Thank God. Thank God.
Anita Maxwell.
I mean,
Bro,
the GOAT.
The GOAT. I mean, by the time this podcast episode comes out, I don't know how relevant that meme is. It's probably not gonna be that relevant at this point, but right now it's so funny. Like I love seeing all like the memes that clown on Drake because I find them hilarious. No hate. It's just funny.
It's just funny. No, it's funny. Like dude's memeable.
He really is, and I feel like sometimes he does it on purpose too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
Nah.
And good for him.
Good for him. Gives him more exposure, more clout. Not like he needs any more of it, but
There's always more, man.
always more.
All right. And so my quote is from it's a fiction book called Red Rising by
Okay.
Pierce Brown.
Okay.
And the character says, humans are always negotiating. That's what conversation is. Someone has something, knows something. Someone wants something. Do you
Okay.
agree with that?
Like that's what conversation is.
You
That
think-
somebody wants something.
Yeah.
Humans are always negotiating. That's a good thought provoking one. Do I think that? Do I agree with that?
Yeah. Like think about like any conversation you'd have. Like, is it a negotiation? Like normally there's an exchange, like there's some sort of end goals are supposed to get met for both people. Yeah.
So like this conversation that we're having right now, is that a negotiation? Are we negotiating something?
I don't know.
'Cause-
Let's figure it out. What do you want from this conversation?
What do I want? Well, I guess I want a podcast episode from this conversation.
Yeah. Not me too.
so
Not me too.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's no negotiation, I guess. I guess we just have an agreement.
Yeah.
So maybe it doesn't hold true.
I mean, I just the whole Anita Maxwell conversation, like, is that a negotiation? Did we negotiate anything? Did you get anything from that? Did I get anything from that?
I don't know. So like you were probably looking for laughs and I was looking to laugh.
Okay.
And we both got what we needed.
I guess, yeah.
We both got what we needed.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, but I thought about it and I was like, huh. Like a lot of conversations that you have it's normally like you want some information or you need something from someone, and it is really crazy to think about that.
I will say the conversations with people who are not in your inner circle are probably more transactional than conversations with people who are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you go to, if you go to like a restaurant, and you ask to order, you're like, negotiating an order, I guess. Like, can I have this? Blah, blah, blah. You're asking for something. If you're giving advice, somebody wants that advice, or you call somebody up like, hey, like I had a question for you, like, I mean, we will do that sometimes.
Yeah.
You'll call me up for a question, I'll ask you up for a question, like, we want something from each other. Yeah. I mean, but like definitely when it's a stranger, like even like if you were to like talk to a girl or something, like somebody tries to go talk to a girl in public, I guess they're negotiating, trying to get their number,
Yep.
I guess so. I guess it holds true in a lot of ways, but I don't think it's necessarily true in every circumstance.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, humans, we be selfish, man. We be trying to get stuff.
We do.
We be trying to get stuff.
We do be trying to get stuff.
Sometimes we're not. Sometimes we're actually nice, but a lot of times we're nice because we want somebody to be nice to us.
For real. Speaking of being nice, if you guys enjoyed this podcast, feel free to subscribe and follow wherever you get your podcasts. Share this with somebody that you think would enjoy this podcast. And next week, we will be doing another episode on one of my earlier songs. Some would argue the song that started it all. So Close. So that will be next week. I'm excited for you guys to watch it. But thank you so much for watching. My name is Adriel Rivera. This is Tegan James Pres Washington.
Pres.
And we make music in my shed. See you guys next week.